What's going on, everybody? It's Retro Handhelds 20. We're going to look at some new updated Eden Switch emulations, and we're going to use just regular good old Eden for this to make it easy. I updated them all. We're going to go here, and we're going to go to fetch. We're going to see if, nope, but that's interesting. Okay. There is a new Mr. Purple 24. Got it on the Konkr. Yeah. But I do want to change this. No. Yeah. 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 There we go. It makes it easy for me to tell the difference of what we're doing. So I've been busy, oh so busy, and I haven't had time to do anything, I'll be honest with you guys. But I figure I'd make a video which is more Switch emulation. But a lot of people are asking me, you know, the Konkr or the Odin 3. The Konkr is a better deal. The Odin 3 is, you know, a very good deal too. It's just, it's going to be more money. And as far as the Ultra models go, I'm wondering, like, if they're going to raise the price if they bring it back or if they change something else. I really don't know. But if you're holding off for the Ultra model, you know, it's kind of interesting because, yeah, we'll play this one. So like I said, I got a bunch of drivers on here. I had 23 or V23 on here, and it just crashes every time I use it. We'll go to here. Let me go to Google right here, and we'll go. This is where I was, well, sort of. I was going to Discord too, but this guy right here, Steven MXZ, he's pretty much doing these experimental turnip drivers. So if you're interested and you're like, oh, I don't have that one, you can always just Google Steven MXZ and then GitHub turnip 8 Elite, and it'll take you here. If you guys didn't know this, just make it easier. Yeah, see right there. But anyways, settings are gonna just, let's see what the settings are. They're kind of wackadoodles in here because everything has changed, so we do not need to do that. I will say we will try the 900p. If we have to go to 1080p, we will. But these are the settings. So let's change that to aggressive. Let's change that to BC3, which is medium quality. And ATS is GPU, which is good. This is all kind of like all over the place here. Okay, can't lower that to whatever. We'll turn that on. We'll turn that on. Oh, what is this? GPU advanced texture. Well, we'll just leave that as is. I'll have to see. There's a lot of that unswizzled chunk size. Extend dynamic frame, but you know, we're gonna leave that off. And then, okay. I'm assuming there's no more Eden's Veil, and there's not. So, yeah. I'm just looking at what's in debug. If that's changed, it looked like a little bit. So they kind of, this is just regular Eden too. So, okay. There's not much. They took stuff away. All right, let's play. But yeah, AYN discounted the portal. So the Magmi Max is coming out. Ooh, boy, turn it down. and or it's the price is gonna be released soon. But they have the base portal, which is sold out, of course, at $250. What a deal! Yeah, I mean, Retroid Pocket 6. Wow, what? Even though you can't really get the base portal right now, you're really gonna get the RP6. Basically, the reason why I would have gotten it was just for the looks, not for the chip. Chip's great. The amount of RAM. If I had to choose, I would definitely get the 12 gigs, but you know, it's just too much money at that point for something that I already got. Several form factors. But the RP6 does look awesome. I'm gonna unfortunately skip it. Maybe if it goes on sale, but I doubt it. We'll have it anytime soon. But so 900p seems to work just fine. But that's nuts. That's crazy sauce that AYN did that sale. So just every other person on YouTube and all the YouTubers like, you know what that means, guys? You know what that means? You know what's coming? You know what's coming? It's like, how are you going to just be? I don't know what the right kind of phrases that I'm looking for, but for the owners of the Odin 3 that just got their Odin 3, how dare you say, oh, the portal's coming, the Odin 3 portal's coming, like it's coming next week or something. You guys don't do that. These things aren't cheap, and like a lot of people, you know, are just looking for like a one and done if they're gonna spend that much money, and it's just, it's so toxic, man. Like I said, I'm okay with this because like I like the 6-inch screen. I wish it was more like the Odin 2, but I've grown to really like the form factor because it just makes it more of a mini device, even though it's not. But I don't know, I'm probably like the only one that's probably not going to be like going crazy for a 7-inch OLED screen again. It's probably going to be the same screen. Of course it's going to be unless they really change it up, you know, not just do an Odin 3 portal, you know, obviously with the Elite chip, and then probably not a version of 24 gigs RAM, which in my testing I haven't seen it really come into play yet. But oh no, oh, did I, whoa, got that on camera. I was not trying to do that. Because at that point, every time the handheld gets bigger and bigger, it just reminds me of the x86 handheld, which I have several of those that just collect dust, and you know, I guess I'm getting more excited for something small that's going to come out that's powerful. I think I hit the jackpot with the Odin 3. If you got an Odin 3, you pretty much did hit the jackpot. You're going to open it up and be like, what? Why is this thing so small? It's, you know, it's the right length, but the height is, it's not there. And it comes with grip, or I would call it a protective case. And then you could buy a TPU grip, which it's really nice, but just like the RP6 grip in Russ's video he just did today, it's very flimsy. It'll come right off, you know. That's annoying. So I forced myself to just get used to using this without it, because it would just fall out of it, and then that thing would break, and I'd be like, oh no. But I am interested to see how they'll do the Odin 3 portal. Besides the screen, besides the chip, you know, they'll probably redo it. Probably make it more ergonomic without having to buy a grip for it. Dear God, I hope they do at least. Because then that would be like the ultimate streaming, powerful handheld for now. Right? Until something else comes out. But it'll last a while too. Like, AWN just makes stuff that just lasts. If you not subscribed to Joey Retro Handhelds, you should be. He did a video today too. It was really cool. It's just on his thoughts about the Odin 2, how it's like discontinued. how the Odin 2 changed a lot on the game with this stuff, retro handhelds, and how you went from struggling to play GameCube and PlayStation 2 to upscaling it with no problem, dipping your toes into Switch emulation without trouble for the games that did work at the time. And that was like 2.5 years ago, you know? And we're all complaining about driver support for the Elite, and like here we are playing Switch games, you know, with experimental turn-up drivers, because obviously people can't wait. And it's just nuts, you know? So if you didn't get an Odin 3, it's okay. If you want to get a Konkr Fit, get a Konkr Fit. It's not as powerful, but it's not far off, you know? It's not like the Odin 2 versus... I thought that would work. It's not like the Odin 2 versus the Odin 3. It's a huge jump. With the Konkr, it's just like going from the Odin 2 to the Konkr. It's a jump, but it's not as crazy. So if you're really aiming to do super high-end emulation and you want to save money, I say get a Konkr. You know, if the RAM stuff wasn't an issue, and besides the slower RAM that we have in here, which isn't that bad, the SKU, the 24 gig model, like, you know, if you want to get an Odin 3, you're still going to be fine with 16 gigs of RAM, trust me. I just tested out a game on here. I got it working, but it crashed, so I didn't show it off. It was Callisto Protocol, and that game tended to use more than 12 gigs of RAM to fully work, because I tried it on my old Evo and it didn't work. And then I tried it on some handheld with 16 gigs of RAM. I think it was the Pocket Ace, and it was working. And I was able to play, and it played decent. Then I tried it on the Pocket S, and it played a little better. And then I played it on here, and then I was getting like 40, at times 50 frames a second at 720. But it ended up crashing, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna show that off. But you know, it's just like bump, 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 bump from the Ace, Pocket 2S Pro, and then bump to the Elite. There's just a little bit of more frames. But if you go from one to the most recent, you'll see the bump. You'll see the jump, I should say. So, in my personal opinion, like, it's hard to not recommend this, even though, you know, it's A&O. But at the same time, you got to think about it like this, because, you know, try to put A&O to the side, and we'll put AYN to the side too. Like, forget about the companies right now. Not that AYN can't deliver. It's just if you want, just think about it this way. If you have to make a decision and you want to lean towards one, my recommendation is, what do you find to what do you think looks cooler? Like, do you think this looks cooler, or do you think this looks cooler? Because this looks cool, doesn't feel as good, right? And if you're going to be on it all the time, you're going to be staring not just at the screen, but the handheld itself. So you got to think about that. It's a big deal. No, I'm just kidding. I'd say this: whatever you decide, either this or this, get it now, get it soon, okay? Because it is the wild, wild west in reselling these handhelds. And if you think one is too much money, like, this is a good deal, but you gotta wait, this one was an okay deal, but it's out of stock for probably ever because of the RAM shortage. But who knows, AYN might bring the 24 gig model back again. I think this is overkill, but you never know. So yeah, I feel you if you still want it, but do you think it's gonna go back up in price? Like, I think not like crazy, but I think if they bring it back, it'll be like $520. And I don't know if that's with shipping. I paid under $500 for this because I did Indiegogo, but it was just under $500. So, and that's for 24 gigs. That's with the grip. So maybe, like, with everything. Actually, I can't really remember. but it was somewhere around there because the only thing I bought was a screen protector, which was garbage, and a grip for this. It comes with a TPU shell, which is nice, but the grip was like 15 bucks or 10 bucks or something like that. I don't want to play bad cheese. So you got to think about it like that. Just put on a mindless game so we can just keep talking. Yeah, good feel good. So I was thinking about this yesterday too. I know I've been out of like posting videos and stuff. It's just like work, man. I come home and it's like, it's not like I've been at home from working, so it's now my job moved to the office. It's like I have less time to actually fiddle with things between stuff that I do for work. So yeah. But when I came home, I was like, man, I gotta put a video on. I was like, I don't have anything. I'm not doing it. So I was thinking, what could I do? And I was like, just thinking about stuff. And I was like, looking at my Pocket 2S Pro. I was like, man, I love this handheld. Like, I feel like nobody gave this handheld the time of day. And to be honest with you guys, I've been focusing a lot, you know, in the past couple of days without just randomly posting a game I got working, just like on older tech. I haven't set this up, but I did put, I'll show you real quick, Amber Elec on here. And I never filtered with like the Linux custom OSs, and you know, it was just the stock Ambernic, so I just took the SD card out, to be quite honest, and just loaded in just a small gig one, and followed one of Russ's videos like halfway through, and I was like, okay, cool. It's got no games on it, but it was really easy to set this up, this part, right? The UI. And I loved this thing when I first got it, you know? So I was like, I want to go back to that. And then I also have this one too. Both metal handhelds. These are old school. This one's even older. This is probably like 4 or 5 years old now. It's still awesome. Feels amazing. You know? It's old school games. Your Game Boy Advance looks great on here, but it's the lowest resolution. The MP, was it the 351 MP is 480 by 640 or 640 by 480, so it's like decent. But I was fiddling with that instead of doing this. And then when I looked at my Pocket 2S, I was like, this is the ultimate retro handheld. Like I said, I was playing GameCube on here. Turn it on. I used this, right? And I used it for just one GameCube game, which is download the game, not gonna lie. And it was Resident Evil 4. Oh, can we skip this? And I was like, I want to use this for the screen now for actually what it was made to do. And this thing was made to just not really do what I'm doing. Like, it's the huge benefit that it can because of the chipset, right? And that's why I wanted that. As soon as I found out I didn't have crystal clear buttons, I was so heartbroken. Yeah, you gotta love that. So yeah. And then I'm gonna put Emulation Station on there, and I'm gonna set it all up because it's like, again, I know I don't get the 120 hertz for refresh rate, so black frame insertion and all that jazz, it's not gonna be really possible. But it's like, who cares? Like, it's just upscale to 2K. So, and then on top of that, it's more or less just like the square candy bar design with that D-pad that sticks out a lot, and it's fantastic because it's the easiest D-pad with a stick on top. That's one of my main devices, or the most powerful device, one of my most powerful devices, because the Ace would be ideal because it's small and stuff, and that's where I realized, like, I play all these retro games on tiny little devices. Retro Pocket 2S. I don't even use my Mini for retro gaming, but it can definitely handle like PlayStation 2 and GameCube, no problem. So I was like, I need to start using stuff for what I got it, for what it was made for, you know, not just for like PC emulation and testing out drivers for Switch. So I was like, let me start with my Ambernic stuff and get that going. Oh Jesus, I didn't even know we were at 100 frames. I thought we were like at 50 or something. So I was like, yeah, okay. And my Pocket 2S is gonna be my next project. I'm bringing it back. Like I was playing with Shadow of or Middle Earth. Middle Earth Shadow of Midgar, the first one. Like pretty much 3/4 of the way in that game with the generals and killing all of them, the goblin guys. And the combat is so much slower than the second game. I just realized that, so it's way more challenging, but it's dark and it's like it's better. It's not like better gameplay because it's not as smooth. It's like it's obviously the first one before the second one, but and you can see where they improve things, but it's still so much fun. And it's a lot of fun on the Pocket 2S. And yeah, I could emulate it on the Pocket 2S, but I could also stream it from my PlayStation 5 to the Pocket 2S and then upscale it with PXPlay FSR1 to 2K, and this has a 2K screen, so it looks so much better on here, even with the lack of OLED and saturation increase like I have on all my handhelds. I could put it on the Konkr and the Pocket 2S. Hyperplay was asking for that, and I'll get to it. I did it already on the Konkr. Here's the deal: to do that, or oh no, we're not doing that. The problem is that once you root the device to like an ANIA device, and you know, fortunately but unfortunately, if the device is still relatively recent, new, whatever, and gets updates, like the Evo gets nothing, or hasn't got an update in a while, right? Every time there's like a system update, like on the Pocket 2S and the Konkr, I noticed it unroots what I did to it, and I have yet to like deep dive into how to either one, stop that from taking away the root, or two, just is there an easier secondary root it again versus doing step-by-step instructions and, you know, start from scratch and do it again. Because if that's the case, every time there's an update, it's going to take away the root access, and then once the root access is gone, I don't have control over the screen saturation anymore. It defaults to, you know, how they have it. And yeah, that's annoying, so I just gave up on it. But regardless, even without this increased saturation, the screen looks amazing. Like, and it's got a 10,000 milliamp battery. Like, the more I thought about it yesterday, it's like, people are asking about the Konkr, people are asking about the Odin 3. It's like, bro. It's like, move aside. Move aside. This thing has a 10,000 milliamp battery. This thing has more power than this and that. It's not as powerful as the Elite. The screen is not as good, but the screen is a bigger rectangle square, and it just makes me want to play retro games on here, like actually play retro games. The D-pad is high enough to do platforming and not have to worry about hitting this or being uncomfortable. Okay, and that's without the grip. The grip just is on there because who knows. This isn't bad because it's inset, but the device is already very short, we'll say. It's the right length, but it's not tall, so you're going to be holding it like this regardless. You could probably start learning to hold with your right if you want to use the D-pad, so it's not bad. It's just, and it's not heavy. It's just, again, it's not as comfortable as that. And then we move on to the Konkr. The Konkr, since these are so long, is not bad either, and it has a very mushy but almost tactile, right? Because it's just so good. D-pad, so it's good. The Konkr, again, is good all around, but even though that this is long and it is comfortable, it does go in, so it again makes you want to put your thumb up here versus down here. See how you move this out of the way, and then you have these bumps right here to hold it, so you still get leverage, and that's still good. But on here, for whatever reason, it's just like, and then to be fair, we'll take this off. Ugh. And because of the triggers, like, they can make handhelds like this, just keep a flat back and just have these bumps, because your fingers will go between them. And you see how my pinky's down here? It doesn't need to be, but I don't know how to explain it. It just feels good. Like, it feels like an Ambernick. Even though they're not, this isn't on top and it's not aligned, it still feels good enough because it's so candy bar rectangle, that this is still high enough to be very comfortable for retro gaming. And I think that's what I want to use it for, besides everything else. I really feel like nobody gave enough shine to the Pocket 2S Pro other than myself for the wrong reasons. I did not once play Super Mario, did not once play any of those games. You know, no Sonic, no Super Mario, no Street Fighter. It was all like, okay, let's, get Street Fighter 6 to work. Let's get Resident Evil 4 to work. It was just ridiculous stuff when I think about it too. It's like, it's cool, but it's just like, I was asking the impossible of that thing, and I'm, oh, he's done. I'm very, impressed with it, right? I think, honestly, even with the Elite, like, you'll get away with a lot with PC emulation because we got the juice now. The battery, hey, 8,000 is fine. But, I don't know. It's hard to recommend the Odin 3 now because it all depends on just what you want. Like, if you like the way this thing looks, which I do, I like the color. I do like the way it feels because I got used to it, and it's like a mini device. I think of the mini when I think about my Odin 3. I don't think about the Odin 2 anymore because I'm not comparing it to that. I had to get that out of my mind. So if you want a bigger handheld like the Konkr, but you want the Elite, then just wait for the Odin 3 Portal. Because, like I said, they got rid of the Odin 2. They got rid of the Odin 2 Portals on sale now, so that's going to be discontinued. Odin Mini is discontinued. The Odin 2 is now discontinued, which makes me feel very grateful that I had, because I owned 2 Odin 2 Pros and I sold them. Because why do I have 2 Odin 2 Pros? Because it's awesome, right? I had 2 different colors. And then I got an Odin 2 Max, but in clear blue, which I'll never sell, because look at the dust. This poor thing. The thing is, it's just, you can't buy it new anymore. That's the thing. You have to buy it used, and that doesn't suck, right? Because people that sell these, they sell them. They're in great condition, They're not toys where you toss around the room like it's a frisbee. But another thing is, it's the seller's market, so just go on eBay and just look, because people are out of their damn minds. I seen Retroid Pocket 5s going for like $300-400. I seen someone bought a Retroid Pocket G2, right? Because I was curious. I was like, I'll get a Retroid Pocket G2 for the channel. Let's just have fun with the chip, right? Because I just want to test it out. There's like 2 people on eBay and they're charging like $300 each. And I'm like, okay, let's go to retroidpocket.com. Let's see how much it costs. Put it in the cart. It starts off at, $219. Tax, shipping, it gets close. It's not like anything crazy though. I think it's at most maybe like $240, $250, somewhere around there. So it's like, okay, that sounds about right, But to buy it used in America with the eBay seller, it's like they're going to charge more than what the handheld costs new, and you'll see that everywhere. So again, when it comes down to these things, Odin 3 versus the Konkr, bro, just buy one of them and buy it soon, because if before you know it, someone's going to be selling this for like more money used than new, and they think that's a good deal. And maybe they should put in their titles, I'm overcharging this used handheld because you will not have to wait with the Chinese companies and shipping from another country. That is the reason. And I wish they did put that in their title, but that's not the case. They're just trying to make extra money. So I don't want anybody to be a sucker and go online and think you're going to do better by buying it used. It's just, people are out of their damn minds. Especially with, I was just looking for, I wanted to get a Retroid Pocket 2S metal version, right? Couldn't find it, so I came across everything else under Retroid and Retroid Pocket 5. People are selling the Retroid Pocket 5s for $200 and up. It's been out for a year now. You know what I mean? It's been out for a year. It's cheaper online on brand new from Retroid, and you're gonna overcharge You're gonna charge more than the site? I hate people. I swear I hate them. I mean, I just want to call them out, and you can't really do that on eBay, or you can't do that on like any. I check other sites that are, people sell, you know, stuff, Facebook Marketplace, all that stuff. It's like I almost want to get into arguments with them. It's like, bro, what are you doing? Like you can't. It's like I want to tell them you can't do that, but you obviously can do whatever you want. You can sell it however you want. It's your handheld. You do you. But I just think it's hilarious. But it always makes me think. It's like, okay, so to answer these questions, it's just like get one of them, but get it now, because before you know it, and you want to get it, and you think you could buy it cheaper used, because I guess everything just goes up in price. Think again, because people are selling their portals, they're selling their Odin 2s, but they're selling them so like way more. Like the Odin 2 now, you can't buy new, so you're gonna have to deal with that unless you get a good deal. So you're kind of SOL, right? But there's other options. There's the portal, there's the Thor, there's the mini. There's other options. There's the Odin 3, you get it new, and then soon to be Odin 3 portal, as they say. It's like, what a dick move. Like, I don't understand people like, oh, it's coming. It's like, no, it might be coming, but you gotta understand, like, the next thing is March, right? After the first quarter, spring, and then there's summertime. Do I think it'll be released during summertime? Maybe, but realistically, it's probably going to be announced in September, or maybe towards the end of summer it'll get announced, and then it'll get released like Christmas time. So you'll get an Odin 3 portal at Christmas time. So it's not going to be anytime soon, you know what I mean? So don't get your hopes up like it's going to come out and I'll just wait for it, and that's not the case. But if you want to wait, just keep in mind, I doubt it's going to come like in March. I don't think AWAN's going to do that to the Odin 3 unless they do, who knows? But just this video is just basically me babbling, get my thoughts out. But yeah, people reselling their handhelds is really disgusting, because they're just overcharging. If you're still on the fence of getting a Konkr, I would just get it and just wait, because as soon as people start reselling their Konkrs, it's going to be way worse than a Retroid Pocket 5. So just imagine if people are selling a Retroid Pocket 5 now for like $300-400, right? Or at least $200 used, right? They'll shine it up, they'll have a case, and they're like, this means it's worth more than I paid for it brand new. No, it does not. It does not. But just keep that in mind. So if I were you, go back to the question one. Which one do you think looks better? Like, I was joking, but kind of not. Like, if you think this looks better, just get it based off looks, because at this point, it's going to be one of a kind. All right? If you want to get the power and you like a certain color, or if you're just a fan of AYN, then just get an Odin 3. If you want to get the top tier model, I would just get a 16 and get a max, because who knows when the Ultra is going to come, and then I could just see them adding a little more to it when it gets back in stock, or if it does come in stock, it's going to be sold out real quick. It's one of those type of deals where you're going to get effed, and you don't want to like look for this online, because they're going to charge you $1,000 probably. Like Odin 3 24 gig Ultra, I guarantee they're probably charging at least $700 now for this, if some asshole is selling it, basically, and they will. So don't do that. Just get it now. If you have a hard time making a decision, what do you think looks better? That's more comfortable. This is more powerful. This is OLED. This is not. Da 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 da. I only got this because I thought it was awesome looking, and I already had the chip. So why would I get the same? It's got the screen. I have yet to really do anything based off emulation besides switch to show off the refresh rate on the Konkr. And if anything, I had to take mine apart. Like, I had to do more work to it, but I got the cheap best model that I could get versus just getting the top tier overall on a budget handheld. So that just thought overall, this was a fantastic price. So this is the 350, the 512, 16 gig, and AYN's charging. Here, I got my computer out here. Let's just see. Let's just do it on here. We don't always need to play video games. We'll just go to Google. I should just do a live stream and just test out games for you guys, but it's hard to keep everything on a terabyte handheld, but we could definitely do a Switch live. I should just do this. I don't know why I don't. All right, here we go. So yeah, you know, we'll go here. We'll see. I just want to go over here. Let's do color black. Do I have to pick something? There you go. Let's go add to cart. Alright, boys. You've seen it right now. It's in stock. Probably someone just bought it. And always take this off. No. Alright, I'm gonna go to checkout. I'm gonna fill this out and I'm gonna buy it right now. Then once I get it, you know, in a couple weeks, I'm gonna list it on eBay for $600. Watch. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna delete it from my cart. But by the time you see this, go for it. Go for it. Don't wait. Don't think about it. Thank me later. If it's letting me put it in my cart, I'll leave it in my cart until I end the video because it takes a minute to upload and shit or stuff. Sorry. And that way, it'll buy you guys more time to the lucky person, right? See how they do it too? They're worry free. So annoying. Can I add 2? Can I add 3? I'll put 2. I'll leave 2 in there. It's really cool. I don't want a portal. I do not like the portal. I am not a fan. And it's not because of the buttons. It's not because... The only reason I don't like the portal is just because it's not a one device. It's a 2 device. It's a grip and the handheld. I don't like that. I was faced to, you know, to have another portal, but mini, with the Odin 3 because I had to use a grip. That's why I was like, no, I'm done using a grip. We're going to learn to use this without the grip because the portal does have a lot of buttons. The joysticks are taller with more tension than any other handheld, which is fantastic. And the D-pad's the same. These triggers are awesome. These triggers are good. They're a combination of the portal and the regular Odin, so they're kind of long like the portal, which I don't like, but they're not as long. They're shorter and they curve down more here, or the lip right here sticks out more than it does on the portal, which I do like too, because again, you don't have to keep your finger so high because you don't have a lot of lip. This has way more lip, and if you don't believe me, we'll just do a side by side. I know it's hard to see because the portal's ginormous compared to the Odin 3, but you see how much more it sticks out? You know? I just don't like that. I just didn't like it. Like, the portal was never the handheld I went to grab to want to play everything. It was good for streaming because of the grip. It was good for emulation because I had 16 gigs of RAM. And it was good for the channel. That's why I will keep it, especially now with the crazy scalpers. But anyways, no more Odin 2. But let's see what how much the Odin 3 is. That's what I came here for. There we go. Alright, 329. So right off the bat, like the 8 gig models, what you'd be looking compared to the Konkr. This is why the Konkr will win. We'll go to the Pro. Konkr will win. You're getting a little more juice for $400, but you're getting less RAM. And remember, it's not as fast. Not that it really matters. It does, but not really with the chip, the Elite, you know. But I can't imagine what this thing would be like with the RAM that's in the Konkr. Unfortunately, until they make the handheld with the 5200 megahertz, which I don't know if they will, we will never know unless we compare it to something else. But it's hard because it's the one handheld. Tablets and phones, they do not count. This is handheld. And look how that blue looks here. That is not how that looks, so keep that in mind. Unfortunately, the purple, as cool as that looks, does not look like that. It's more, since this is like dark navy blue, and that looks like a lighter royal blue. There you go. It's going to be like an olive purple, so it kind of blows. Freaking Pro's $400, but that's pretty much what the Pro was back in the day. I think it was like $379 or something like that on the Odin 2. So it's already up in price. And then let's see what the max. So freaking $450. How much is the Ultra, or how much was the Ultra? $520. So that's before. This is after Indiegogo. So if it stays there and you want to wait and it comes in stock and you get lucky, just grab whatever color to just get it. Then I'd say get it. You know, $520 plus shipping plus tax. It's hard, man. I don't know if that's getting into too expensive territory. Like it's the A and EO territory. That's like normal stuff for A and EO, right? That's why the Konkr was such a good deal. This is, you know what, let's go to, because we're having so much fun not emulating, just reviewing prices. Let's go to A&Eo's website and let's see how much the Pocket 2S Pro goes. Because I don't remember what I paid for the Pocket 2S Pro. I just went all out, and it was Indiegogo. So I know it's gonna be after Indiegogo. So let's see. We want Android gaming handhelds. Okay. I think that's a good deal, but I think, what is this, for like 8 gigs it starts? Maybe that's why it's $339. Not that you would need 12 gigs, but let's see what the price difference is for the metal. Was it sold out probably? Or doesn't exist? Yeah, that probably doesn't exist. Liars. Alright, let's see the Konkr. Really want to get that dragon cheese, man. I should have got it. Alright, let's see what 512, if it's in stock, whatever color. Blue Phantom Black. So now it's $379, right? I remember this was $350. This was $349 for the same model, and now it's jumped freaking $20 plus everything else. So that's gonna still be, it's gonna be cheaper than the Pro of this, and you get the 4 extra gigs of actual fast RAM. It's really hard, guys. It all depends if you like the Konkr, if you like the Odin 3. Because the difference in between performance is not going to be huge. It's going to be there, but it's not going to be huge. And you're going to be spending so much money. And this is going to be, besides the Ultra model, this is more available. Because AYN's good with that. And then A&O is going to be a waiting game. And since they've moved on to another device, as they always do, they kind of like just forget everything. So even maybe later this will go on sale, but I do not recommend you guys buying it from someone else, because they will overcharge you unless they're a complete like idiot and they don't know what this is, you know, or they might be even worse and think this is more like a computer or something and try to sell it for even more. All right, anyways, we finally made it. Well, that's interesting. That's not the Pro with the crystal buttons. I have yet to even see this one. Like, what the hell? I need to YouTube it. All right, let's just do my model. ISO white, 1 terabyte. Let's see. It's not gonna be what I paid. Look at that. Disgusting. Tax. That's a $700 handheld now. New. So just imagine these little people on eBay going to charge you $900 for that, or they're not going to be far off this. Okay, and mind you, this is half a year old, and it's gonna just get older, you know what I mean? So once it reaches a year, and then people, and you know, I know this because of the Pocket S1, people are ridiculous with a handheld that does not work. Like, I bought that purely for the looks, because ADO really messed up with the heat dissipation with the Pocket S1. It overheats no matter what you do to it. right? So you can only push it so hard when like a miniature device, the Pocket Ace. I did like 30 videos on what this could do on just GameHub alone versus any other GX Gen 3 video or handheld. And why? Because it's a little thicker and it's got a vent on the back like it should. Like stupid ANEO. And what do? They make an amazing comeback with the Pocket 2S Pro, right? And then what do? After that? They're like, okay, let's just redo the Pocket S and then make a mini device. If I find out that thing overheats too, it's like, come on guys, just stop using that chip. I know you have a bunch of it, but you're going to overcharge people for a device that overheats that costs something like this. It's ridiculous. How could you do that to someone? Anyways, these are price comparisons. This is why I think this device doesn't get enough love, is because of the outrageousness of what ANEO costs. But that's the thing. The Konkr is ANEO, just as they say budget, but it is cheaper. And now it's more expensive. Like, it sucks. But they did extend that Indiegogo whatever price for a long time, but little did people know that they were going to make you wait for it regardless. So, and then there's this, like, I'm supposed to have this because I bought, like, obviously I have this, right? I was supposed to get a 2 gig version. They never gave it to me. Whatever. I ended up ordering this, but I ordered it from Agnes's website, and I did my name on the back because why not, right? So cool. And I got the Retro Power one just like everybody else. I sold my Pocket Air not too long ago because I was just getting rid of handhelds. Unfortunately, it got to that point. I was like, man, I could make some extra cash. Why not? This thing is really just like, it was a mountain of dust on here. And when I first got this, I put all my retro games on it. Not this, but the actual Pocket Air Mini. And then Switch could never work. Nothing could never work. I had the max version with the 12 gigs RAM, the 512 storage, and all this stuff I could do on a Snapdragon, like the mini Retro Pocket Mini. I could not do anything with this Mali GPU. Nothing. I could do more stuff with the 557 Ambernick, the 40, this bad boy, I forgot the name of what is it, 406H or something. Like, I got more GameHub games working on here than I could do on the Pocket. And what is this? This is not even like, this is like $150. And the Pocket Air, people are selling that for like $400 still. And it's been how many years? 3 years since that thing's been out. People are still thinking they could get that. Like, I just love making this video right now because I just love hating on people selling handhelds for whatever they think they could get. Like, go to eBay, you'll see someone charging the same price. When did this come out? And that this is new, and you're gonna sell it used for that much money? You're out of your damn mind. I just want to slap people. Like, get out of here! How dare you? But I don't even have time to be a dick, like, and just message him and say stuff like, "How dare you? Lower this price right now, sir. You're out of your mind." Or send them a link to it new, and then add like the shipping costs. How is it still cheaper than yours and it's new with shipping? Da da da. Lower your price, sir. You're out of your mind. But yeah, this video is going to be more fun for me. Sorry guys, I just didn't have time to really focus on emulation. But I did want to answer and address this question. My comparison to the Odin 3 is like, it is a good deal, but when these two were coming, I was going to skip this because I owned this, right? I caved and got this because of the way it looked, right? I already have the chip. The screen is not OLED, so there's still LCD. It just has a higher refresh rate, which is a plus, definitely. But was it really worth spending hundreds of dollars again to get the same stuff, just different form factor? I was like, hell yeah, it was. And I mean, the trigger locks, like, and then the click is so satisfying to me. Like, I just never take them out. And the buttons are really quiet. And these buttons are fantastic, you know, especially for platformers. So you could do a lot of retro gaming on here too. I just aim to do it on here now because I don't know, it's just calling me to do retro gaming. This just looks modern, so it just makes me want to play like modern shooting games, and with the trigger locks, you know, it's good. And it's also a Switch monster, so people just need to get over the hype about the Odin 3 because it's the latest and the greatest. You know, if you want this thing, just get it. But if you want to wait and see what AYN does next with this chip, because they're probably going to use it, then wait. The only thing I say to that is, unfortunately, everything will go up in price now. So if they come out with an Odin 3 portal, there's going to be a couple good deals with it. Like Pro, we'll see. But the portal alone costs more than Odin 3, right? In every SKU. So it's not going to be a good deal if you have to pay more. If you really want the bigger OLED screen and the Elite chip, I would suggest looking at a tablet or something. And if you want to wait to get it, unless Indiegogo, or they're not going to do Indiegogo, they'll do it from their website. If their pre-orders has like a $20 or $30 discount before it goes to like an upscale price, that will probably work too. But I just have a bad feeling everything's going to go up in price. Besides like all the eBay shop like listings and stuff like that, that's just, you know, people reselling stuff. But in general, like, I don't know. I'm really curious to see what ANEO charges for the Pocket 2S Mini, or the Pocket Mini S, or Pocket S Mini, whatever. Because, you know, it's all glass and it looks sweet. And the word on the street is it's the same screen as the Mini, the Pocket Air Mini, which has a ghosting apparently. And I'll find out. And if that's the case, it won't bother me, because it's well, for me, it was a sub $100 device, because with shipping, it's just pushed it over 100, right? But I got the best model, like the 3 gig and the 64 gigs of internal storage, you know, which is probably necessary. With the RAM, you need at least 3 gigs. So I'm like, I'm okay with it. And I get my name, like, I don't know, printed on the back. I wouldn't say engraved, which is makes it awesome. It's like my channel name. It just brings joy to me when I get it. So that's okay. But I just feel like ANEO is going to start charging the ANEO prices, as you saw for these things on here. And that thing is probably going to, like, let's go back. I want to see how much the Pocket Ace costs, because that was ridiculous. Remember, I got my Pocket Ace off Facebook Marketplace. I suggest, like, you don't ever give up on looking for deals. It's just, what I've seen recently has just been, like, really bad. Sometimes it's bad, and, you know, I'll find a couple good deals, but it's been really bad. Like, since the RP6s come out, people are selling the RP5s for way too much money. And they're not selling. That's why. It's disgusting, because it's all over the internet. Because nobody's going to be stupid enough to buy that shit for that much money. It just kills me. So I think this is just their information. So let's go to store. Or maybe they don't sell the Ace anymore. I believe it. Yeah, look at that. This is the store. This is a keyboard. Interesting. So the things you can buy, probably not even that. Not that you would, but they still have plenty of these for some reason. Like, they should not be charging this, man. Like, I love the Pocket S1, the way it looks, but it was not designed well for heat dissipation. And that chip is powerful, but it gets really hot. So even undervolting did not help. How much is their... How much is their classic? Oh man, I gotta go to bed. I gotta work again, bro. Alright, here we go. $4.59. Ugh. Maybe it's okay. Well, let's just try a different color. And you know what looks really good is the black one. I'm just swearing too much on here. I wanted to get not necessarily 8 gig or 12. You know, obviously I want this one. $600, man. So ridiculous. This is a really good handle. I think this is still the handheld of 2025. Is the Ace, if not the Flip 2, for me. I mean, I had several. Like, even the 557 was a lot of fun despite the tiny joysticks. It's just finding out what we can get away with, and the support in Game Hub for Mali GPUs just came along at the right time. Became awesome. So And I know the Pocket S Mini will probably be obviously smaller than the A's because it's 4x3. This is more for Game Boy Advance, but this is the best. Here's my deal. Here's my view on the Pocket Ace versus the Pocket 2S Mini or Pocket S Mini. If it's going to have the same size screen as, it'll be a better review if I had it, or even the Air at this point, because I'm pretty sure it's the same screen. But it's a 4x3, right? But it's a big 4x3. So we'll see once I get it how 16:9 stuff looks, and then stretch it a little bit, right? Because if you stretch it a little bit on here to a 16:10, you get tiny little black bars, and it looks very good on this, was it 3:2 ratio, whatever this is on the Ace. And so you could get everything, you know what I mean? Like 16:9, just squish it a little bit and you got that. So, you know, Game Boy Advance, it's gonna look fantastic on here. 16:9, squish it a little bit, you still get a decent size screen, you know. And to compare, we have it right here. Just imagine if it was just this was gone. But I'd rather have black bars and have a wider screen than have the 4x3 and not be able to make it bigger, right? But I feel like the Mini, because this is very premium, like matte plastic, right? There's no doubt about it. But I feel like with the crystal buttons and the metal thing, you know, it's gonna just be more money. But I don't think it's gonna work out to the price that they're gonna charge, is what I'm trying to say. I think it's gonna be too much money for the limitations. Because like, it's not like the Retro Pocket Mini, which is over behind my computer. Because it's gonna be too much money to squint, and it's gonna be too much money to drop, because you're done. You're just absolutely done if you drop that thing. And because it's like part metal, it's gonna be heavier, just like this thing. I need to get a scale, but this is so much heavier than any other handheld because of this metal, what did they say, CNC metal rim that goes around it of the device. And it adds quite a heft to it. It's decently heavy, and the 10,000 milliamp battery, it's just a heavy handheld, right? This is heavy too, but it's lighter than that because, you know, more plastic, smaller battery, yada yada yada. But I don't know. If I were to buy the Pocket S Mini, it would be because of the way it looked, and then it would be one of those things where I would skip out on the white model, because again, these white models, I have too many white handhelds. Like, I love blue. I would probably go for the retro power version of the Pocket S Mini. Even the gold, like, I almost wanted to get a retro power version of the Pocket 2S Pro, but I'm not even gonna look at the price, because again, this was over $600. The retro power is like another $100, right? If I want to get it new, and then someone's selling it used, dear Lord, they're gonna be charging $1,000. Like, let's be real, because they're gonna think, well, you know, I had to buy it from China and I had to wait, so I'm gonna charge $300 more. That's just how it goes. Okay, it's been used like 3 times, so it's still new, like brand new. No, dude, it's not. You're a liar. Okay. Anyways, moving on. This has been a babbling video, but prices always get me upset. And it was, instead of working on a video, I was really just looking to buy stuff. And when I was looking for things I wanted to get, such as a Pocket Micro, because I wanted to do a video on compare and contrast, you know, this handheld versus like a 4x3 budget handheld that just plays retro games, which led me down a rabbit hole with my old Ambernick handhelds, with the RP2S, bringing that back to compare it to the ANEO Pocket or the ANEO Air Mini. You know, even though you can't get the Retro Pocket 2S anymore, it's still like, this was under $100, and this is technically under $100. Like, what has changed since this has come out versus when, you know, ANEO just pulled this out of their, you know, butthole. I think the Pocket 2S or the Retro Pocket 2S is going to beat the Air Mini, but we'll see. You know, I don't know the chipset in the Pocket 2S, and I really don't know the chipset in the Pocket Air Mini, but I should because it was talked about recently. But going back to the Odin 3 versus the Konkr, just get whatever you want, whatever you think looks better at this point, because sooner or later it's all going to go up in price. This is just like now, right? And this is only going to be the now for so much longer. I mean, just like today with AYN selling or putting the portals on sale, everybody's like, you know what that means? That means the Odin 3 portals like next week, and pre-orders are going to go next month live. That's it. And like they're really going to forget about the Odin 3. They just released this. No. People are dumb. That's not how this works. And if if they do that, well, then you could call me out on it. Like, Retro Handhelds, you said they weren't going to come out with the Odin 3 portal till like summertime, but they're coming out with it like in March. All right, man. Then they screwed everybody, because now we have to buy another handheld if we want the same chip, same RAM, but just bigger form factor and pay more money. So my advice is just get it now. Just get it now. If you want an Odin 3, get it now. If you want to wait for a portal, it's going to be more expensive, and I don't think Android handhelds are going to be worth going past the $500 mark much anymore, just because it's not a deal. You're really passing x86 handhelds, which I don't even play around with the way I should. They just collect dust, but they're more powerful than this. It's cool that this can emulate PC games fairly well. It's cool that Turner driver support's coming, and I'm not going to be one of those people like that tell you like, oh well, if you get an Odin 3 you're gonna have to wait till, it's kind of like it's future proof but it's half baked. No, it works fine. Just right now works just fine. You can do everything. Don't listen to what people say. If you're one of those people that needs the safety net, then just get the Konkr. It's cheaper, but it was cheaper than it is now, so that's unfortunate if you didn't get it already. And the Ultra model, if you didn't get it, that's unfortunate because it's out of stock, and it's a lot more expensive than what I paid for the 24 gig model. So I don't like how the prices changed. And then I could care less about how people, let's go to eBay. I'm so mad. Like, you can see the rage. It's just because I feel bad for people, other than myself. Like, I'm trying to buy something, you're screwing me here. But like someone who doesn't really know, right? And then they look something up and they're like, oh, that looks cool, but it's so much money. What does it do? And they're like, they don't know that they could get it for like $100 cheaper, new on the website, So these people are scammers, and it kills me. Let's do Odin 3. And let's see if there's any listings, right? And we'll do comparisons. Look at this shenanigans. I just typed in. I didn't even look for Odin 3s, because why would I, right? I got an Odin 3. And it's a max, clear purple. Look at this. You're out of your fucking mind. I'm gonna swear. I'm just gonna get pissed. Like, I gotta end this video. Look at this one. What a fucking douche. I want to slap people. I want to slap them. I didn't even think to do this right now. I'm not trying to prove points. It's just I hate people. I hate them. They're selling it for twice as much money. Oh, does it burn my soul? I want to just message. We should the channels should we should all just comment on this seller right here and tell him to go F himself. Like, you need to turn down that price, sir. You're out of your damn mind. Or we just go here, link the website to this to the response, and shake the finger. No. This price, the only beneficial is he put it there, US seller, right? Sealed. Ooh, just kick him in the nuts. If it'd be different if they're ultra models. They're not even ultra models. I don't know what that is, but we'll skip it. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Look, $800, man. Right? So if you think I could sell this for $1,000, right? Because I got the ultra model, because that's just how the numbers work. What would that $1,000 get me in the PC world or the PC handheld? To give me a decent PC handheld, I could probably get the Legion Go base model or mid-tier model, maybe the Z2, but not Z1, Z2 Extreme, but just the Z2. And I'll be straight with that. I got the OLED screen, boy. Don't even use that for the power. Just gonna use it to stream. So that's what I'm saying. This I sell for a Legion Go makes sense, right? No, it does not. This does not compare to a Legion Go 2. Sorry if I didn't say Legion Go 2. It's awesome, but it's not that awesome. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. It's just this is what I come across. And it wasn't my aim to rant in this video about people reselling stuff. It's just I know a lot of people have asked me for a while now, like, which one do I recommend? It will still be this one because of the quality of the chip, not this, because A-Neo's A-Neo, but you could just get lucky. Usually you do, and everything will be fine, okay? And they already got put on blast, so if there's something wrong, they will do their best, if not better now, to assist you getting whatever needs to be fixed if anything does go wrong, right? They're on the spot. And it's just an amazing Android handheld for the right price. This one is a little overkill, but it's still, AYN's a fantastic company, and the buttons are fantastic. It's a little more expensive. And now without the Indiegogo, it's a lot more. It's even more. So it's getting to the point where it's like, I can't recommend these. They're too expensive. You know, these were meant to play Super Mario 3. Okay, like they're retro handhelds, right? There should be, and there's just has to be a new category called Android handhelds, not retro, because these things do much more now than retro gaming. And when you're spending hundreds of dollars to play a retro handheld, don't say it. It's an Android handheld. And that could be in a category of its own at this point, because you get the best of both worlds. And ARM-based power, sleep mode, saving power, built-in fans, you know. It's a good gaming device, but I don't know. I think the Konkr wins still, just because of price. And I took mine apart. I ranted about A-Neo how many times, but I still think it's better. I think this is amazing, and it's going to be the now, and on my channel it'll probably continue to be on. You know, I'll go back to these things, the Konkr and the Pocket 2S Pro, but I'm more or less going to enjoy them on my own time and like focus on the Odin 3 for a little longer, because again, it's the most powerful handheld, right? So with that said, it's like this is going to have compatibility across the board, so you could still apply whatever I'm doing here to here. Just use the latest turnip driver for the HN3 and lower. Just, you know, it is what it is. So we don't have to worry about a game not working. And here it's just like a new beginning. So, but I think things are just going to get too expensive, and I don't think people should waste more money, and I don't think people should list things for way too much money. Before I end the video, I'm just going to show you how much Retro Pocket 2 or how much an RP5 costs. And then I'm going to end the video, because I know I did this, but you guys got to see this. Retro Pocket 5, let's go. Look at this, man. It's the black model too. There's no color, right? It's not the Retro Pocket 6 with a different type of black plastic, okay? And an all glass front to make it look slick. It's the RP5 black, and he wants $200, or she. It's not new, okay? Oh my god, $250. He included a backplate, so he charged $50 more. Okay, all right, $235. I gotta turn it off. Like, I gotta turn it off. I can't. You let me know what you guys think, especially with people reselling their handhelds. Like, I get it. Make your money, right? Make your money back. You sell one of these, make your money back. Okay. Don't ever talk about it. But, and we all know, we all take care of these. So when you resell them, it's fine, right? And if you don't, you should. If there's a scratch or something, make sure to show that off so the seller or the buyer is aware. But don't overcharge it. Don't overcharge people, because I wish I could share the site I use to sell my stuff, but I sold my Odin 2 Pros for $220 each. And I thought that was an awesome deal. Like the HN2 before the RP6 came out, like at $220. with that form factor. I was like, that's a great deal. That's just $10 more than what the RP5 new costs, and you get 12 gigs of RAM. I don't even want to look at Odin 2s now, but you get the idea here. They're overcharging. And like, Amazon's a whole nother story, but I'm going to end the video. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great day.